have times changed for the better or for the worst when it comes to relationships, dating, that sort of stuff?
The worst.
The worst?
Worst.
Who said that?
Monique.
Phyllis and Monique. Why have they changed for the worst?
Um, well, first of all, the internet destroyed everything. The entertainment industry,
How?
the entertainment industry, the modeling industry, art. I mean, do we love it? Do we need it? Do we thrive on it? Does it help us? Yes. But as far as like fundamentals go and like, just um take online dating, for example. You
Okay.
know, everything is so much more accessible
Such as?
and people, you open your phone and there's, you swipe, you just find, and just because everything is so accessible because of the internet, I feel like there's less of a reason for people to commit. And I lived in Los Angeles for 11 years, so I've experienced this firsthand. You know, if you're in a relationship or if there's somebody that you really like, there's not really a really strong inclination to connect and to be vulnerable or to commit because there's so many other people at your fingertips just right around the corner and on your phone,
So you think
so
there's too many options?
there's it's not that there are too many options. I think that people are just too choosy. It's
When you
that.
say people, is it gender specific though? Is it men or is it women or
Nope.
is it both men and women
Nope.
are
I'm
just
gonna tell you
choosy?
something right now. When it comes, I don't care what you're talking about. Women are just as bad as men, and men are just as bad as women. It doesn't matter. I'm not being gender specific.
That's not true because women have more dating options, especially online or when it comes to swiping on dating apps or when it comes to Instagram. Women have more men in their inbox than men have their inbox. In fact, women are swiping left on most men. They have so many options. They will have so many likes, and they get to pick and choose which man they can say yes to or no to. Most guys never have that unless you're like a Drake or Chris Brown. Then you may have women chasing you. But most guys struggle, whether in person, whether on dating apps, whether on Instagram, on social media. So she's lying. So most women shouldn't have an issue because they have so many guys to pick from. But the issue is they always think the grass is greener with the other guy. So they'll go with this guy, then tomorrow they'll go with the other guy. When the other guy offers a dinner date and this guy offers a coffee, they'll choose the guy who offers a dinner date, even if he's not better than the guy who offered a coffee date. So definitely women have more options on social media and dating apps.
It's
In
just
what sense though? In
human
being
nature,
choosy?
and being choosy, instant gratification. Because everything that you could accuse a man of doing in a relationship these days, women are doing. You know what I mean? The tradition is kind of out the window, so to say, I feel
If
like.
it's people are too choosy, do you think people's standards have gone up then? How has it gotten worse? If it's just you're too choosy, wouldn't being too choosy have been an issue before the internet and social media?
Okay, what's a good example? For example, and I've seen this in your shows and I've seen it in multiple videos. The what is it like the six figure, what is it called again? Like the guy's got a like six figures, six something.
Oh,
What is
that's
it?
Like six
that's
sixes?
actually that's actually a female trope.
Yeah. Well,
That
I'm
actually
going to
came
use
from
it as
women.
an
The six
example.
sixes, right? Six
I'm
foot
going to use
tall,
that
six
as an
figure income,
example.
600 horsepower car, six pack abs, 6 months out of the relationship. Yeah.
Well, let's just talk about that for a second. Women came up with
Hmm.
that. The average woman that uses that rule doesn't own her own car, lives in a studio apartment, and can't even boil an egg. So, yes, it's standards that are way too high, not within your realistic range, because you think you have access, you get a little bit of attention, you have access to all these other people. People have a displaced concept of reality. So, I mean, I could go deep into this if you want, or I can just tell you that yes, things are different
Okay.
and people are more choosy, but they're not necessarily being choosy for the right reasons.
Okay, let's come back to that. So I want to hear from the other gals too. So, times have changed, but have they changed for the better or for the worse in your opinions?
Yeah, well, I'll piggyback off of what she was saying. I think she was saying that men are, or not men, but people are being more choosy in a way. Is the fact that they have this idea in the back of their head that like at any time there is a roster that they could have, you know what I mean? The people that are continuing to flirt with them or whatever, reaching out, liking their stuff, it feels as if there are unlimited options. So then when we enter a relationship and they end up becoming the mirror that they're meant to be, because that's literally the point of all of these relationships, is to see what we are not conscious of seeing within ourselves so that we can grow and become better and learn whatever lesson that we came here to learn. I think people are becoming more choosy because once that's reflected back to them, oh, nasty, I've got really bad toxic patterns that I don't really want to look at. I'm just going to leave you and find somebody else that's not going to do that.
Yeah, but that's most women leaving relationships. Because if you ask this lady, how many boyfriends have you had? And out of those boyfriends, how many of them have broken up with you? And how many have you broken up with? The answer would be I've broken up with either all of them or maybe just one broke up with me and I broke up with the rest. So obviously it's women who have the rosters because women get approached. Now, if men were approached by women, which it happens, but you gotta be like really rich and famous like the Chris Browns of this world. Other than that, women have the most options, whether it's social media. Because one time I had a female friend, she showed me her dating app and she had 500 messages from men. So in my head, I was like, how do you get to choose from the 500 messages who to go on a date with? Because if you have 500 guys all wanting to see you and take you on a date, who are you going to choose? Like, that's crazy.
So I can be comfortable in my own crap. And that's why we have all of these people that get into these relationships and then get out and they're hopping into another one. And the dating scene is just horrific because there's all these unhealed people running around getting into relationships when they should never get into relationships. They should focus on the one that they were in, learn the lesson that they were supposed to learn from that relationship, and then maybe find that other person. Or maybe they just stay with that person that helps them grow. That's exactly what happened in my relationship. We were off and on for the duration of our 2 years, and we were extremely toxic to each other, but we sat down, looked at our own crap and said, I don't want to be like this anymore. I don't like hurting people. I don't like being bad. So I'm going to do better. And it's bonded us so deeply and so beautifully that like I just see forever with this person because of that, because we went through those trying times and we overcame it together.
Okay. And what about you, Elena? The Gypsy Queen.
Hey. I feel like we're viewing this more from the perspective of dating and marriage for love rather than the institution that it is initially intended for. And I think we're better off now, especially as women, because we have access to more choices. But
I mean, you have more access to more choices, but you still don't make good choices in men. So it looks like it doesn't matter.
I disagree with the fast food culture around dating.
Fast food culture. It's all McDonald's.
Yeah, like you're saying, it prevents people from actually doing the work or having any sort of like growth or self-development, introspective. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so let me phrase the question to you this way. I can produce a magic wand and wave it and solve these issues that exist within dating right now. What is the issue that you would want to see fixed? This is the question I want to ask all of you. So what is the main issue that you think should be fixed?
Accountability.
Accountability.
Accountability and radical acceptance of just who you are and how you're acting. You know what I mean? And like taking a hard look at yourself and not stop pointing the finger, stop being a victim. We're all.
I mean, I agree with this lady. Yeah, accountability is key for both men and women, but more so women, because it's always the man's fault that the relationship ended, right?
Just
Stop.
everybody just wants
Stop being a
to be a
victim.
perpetual victim and blame everybody else for all of their problems. And oh my gosh, I just keep attracting these horrible men and not realizing that part of you that's attracting these horrible men. You know what I mean? Things that
Yeah.
Yep.
the boundaries that you're not setting, the appeasing people and, basically being self-sacrificial for people that don't even deserve it. Like, and it's just like you keep repeating the same pattern until you learn the lesson that you're meant to learn. You know what I
Can you
mean?
give me a specific example? Like, what do you mean accountability? Because I'm assuming that when you're answering the question, you're sort of looking at guys and past patterns and past behaviors of men. What is it specifically that you can use as an example when it comes to like accountability?
So accountability would be like, if I am coming to you and saying like, hey, this action hurt me, instead of you deflecting and saying, well, you did this and that's why I did this. No, take accountability for your part in the situation. You know what I mean? Take accountability and just take the hard look at yourself. Take a step.
Yeah, and I think that's why most guys, women complain so much about how men are usually silent or they don't open up in relationships or they hide their feelings within. They never speak about what's bothering them. But that's because most guys, once they speak up, and they're like, hey, baby, you said ABCD, you did ABCD, I didn't like it. Most women are like, but you also did ABCD. Oh, I did that because you did this to me. So most guys are like, okay, I mean, it's a waste of time opening up to you because when I do, you bring up something I did a long time ago. Yet most men just want to be like, hey, at least accept that you did wrong. We can always talk about whatever I did rather than making it seem like it was revenge on your part. So most guys are like, you know what? Instead of talking about this, I don't want arguments. I don't want to, you know, you know, bring up an issue, and then the woman is like, but it's your fault. It's like you hurt me, and you're saying it's my fault, rather than saying, baby, I'm sorry. So most guys are like, I'm not gonna open up, and then women complain, men don't open up, they're not vulnerable. But it's like when I'm vulnerable, you say it's my fault, and that's the issue with dating these days. There's a big disconnect between men and women. But shout out to Rich Cooper. At least the women are giving their mindsets and their perspectives, and Miranda was definitely right. This one seems out of touch, and this one as well. But what do you guys think? I'll link down below Rich Cooper channel below.